Hey guys, what's up? Welcome. And if you guys are new here, my name is Alison. If you guys are into fashion, beauty, lifestyle, foundation review, and hauls video, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and also click the bell button to get a notification whenever I upload a new video on my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're doing a foundation review, and I know it has been a while, so today we're trying out another drugstore foundation. So this is a Loreal Infallible 24 Hours Fresh Wear Powder Foundation. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know I've been loving this L'Oreal liquid foundation, but now they come out with this powder foundation. So now let's dive in to see how this works on my oily skin and how it wears. Alright guys, it has been a while since we do another foundation review, so now let's prep the skin before we put on this powder foundation. So first off, I already put my Becca under eye brightener on my under eye, and then I'm using Mcgrath concealer to conceal my dark circle. Usually with powder foundation, it doesn't give you a lot of coverage, especially if I do have like acne scar. So here I'm just gonna conceal a little of my acne scar over here, but I'm just gonna lift this open so that you guys can check it out and see what are the coverage later on. But usually with powder foundation, it doesn't cover much on this, like kind of like a redness on the face. So when we're blending in this concealer, let's talk about what this foundation claims to be, what is the price point, and also the details of this foundation. So first off, I did purchase mine on Amazon. And if you purchase it on Amazon, it's a little bit cheaper than Ulta and the L'Oreal website. So it retails for $14.99 on the Ulta and L'Oreal website, but on Amazon it retails for $11.99, so you will save a little bit more with Prime shipping. So now moving on what this foundation claims, and it is a powder foundation, provides you full coverage, no excess, no transfer, waterproof, sweat proof, and heat proof. Also, it's a natural matte finish for face. It also blurs, evens out, and smooths your skin with the weightless, creamy texture fused with skin upon application. And it is suitable for all skin type, oily skin, and acne prone skin. And I love they do this kind of label on what it claims this foundation to be, and you guys can check it out here. Okay, now the skin is prepped, and let's move on to this foundation review. So first off, look at the packaging. It has this Infallible 24 Hours Wear Fresh Wear Foundation. With this packaging, it is a same line with their liquid foundation. If you guys watch my channel, you guys know this has been my holy grail, and this liquid foundation has been my consecutive second year of my favorite foundation. And with this liquid foundation, it actually beats a lot of my high-end foundation, so that already said how good this foundation is. So with this powder foundation, the color scheme is same as the liquid foundation, and when you open it up, this is what the inside looks like. It got this powder compact, and when you lift it up, there's a mirror and there is a sponge that it comes with it. So it's very simple, easy to carry kind of foundation. It fits in like within my hand size, and it's easy to travel with or put it in your purse for a touch up. So with powder foundation, I do like using it with a sponge because it gives you a more coverage, and with the brush usually it's more like a natural finish. So we'll see how this would react on the face. So on this side of the face, I'm gonna do dab motion. So you guys can see right away with this kind of redness on the face, it doesn't give you much of the coverage unless you focus and build it up. So let's see how it does on the coverage. So you guys can see a little bit better, but it's still showing the redness underneath my skin. So you guys can see I do have my natural shine on my forehead, and now we're gonna cover that up and see the coverage. I do feel like with powder foundation you do have to apply a lot more product to get the coverage. Alright, so this is half side of my face with the powder foundation on using a sponge, and with the natural skin on this side. So you guys can see it does definitely give me a little more coverage as you build it up, but I would say this foundation, it performs better than other powder foundation. It gives you a very nice coverage, but yet because I do have a lot of acne scar and the redness underneath my skin, so it didn't necessarily mean to cover up the acne scar, but it kind of just balance out and make my face color a lot more tone. So now let's try out and see how does a dense brush like this work with the powder foundation. And once I dab it into the pen, you guys can see there's a lot of fallout, and it does have a little scent, like fragrance on this powder foundation, I would say. It kind of smelled the same as the liquid foundation, but with liquid foundation, I didn't like bother at all. I feel like the scent is not something that lingers throughout the day. So you guys can see with the brush right here, it actually applies a lot easier because it's a lot bigger, and also it kind of just makes the application a lot quicker. So here is what it looks like with, I would say, 2 layers of the powder foundation, and compare with using a sponge. I feel like using a sponge, it gives me a lot more coverage, yet it still gives me a very natural finish. And this is a lot more like your everyday kind of makeup, and you want it just to give you some color on the face and kind of like set your face without getting very shiny. Also, using a brush is like a lot quicker, easier application if you are in a rush, but I do personally prefer using a sponge like this because it does give me a lot more coverage, you guys can see, with a sponge. Alright, so this is what it looks like with the powder foundation coverage on the face, and you guys can see it's more like a natural finish, but it still gives you a little bit more coverage than comparing to a lot of powder foundation. And I would say this powder foundation is very easy to apply, and also it blends up very nicely without that cakeiness. And I'm really intrigued to see how it would turns out later on, and see when it's combined my natural oil, will it transfer, and also we're gonna test out waterproof later on. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's more of a natural coverage for me because I personally have a lot of this kind of acne scar and redness underneath the skin, so I do like to use a liquid concealer or liquid foundation. I tend to use those for my everyday makeup look. So now I'm just gonna finish up the rest of my makeup and see how it layer on top with all the makeup I use. Alright guys, so the makeup is done, and I don't have any issue with layering more makeup on top of this powder foundation. So I would say usually if I'm going with a powder foundation, I would layer powder makeup product on top instead of using a liquid product, because it's already like a powder finish. You don't want to mess up the coverage. So usually with powder foundation or base layer, I would just go with a powder on top for the makeup application. So with that being said, I feel like this powder foundation, it gives a very nice natural finish, and also it does give me a little bit more coverage. I would say kind of like to medium coverage, I would say. And also the application is very easy and quick if you're using like a brush, and if you want more coverage, you can use with a sponge. So now I'm just gonna wear out throughout the day to see if my natural oils come through, because I do have oily skin, and I want to see how this wear out through the day. Normally with liquid foundation, I would set it with my loose setting powder, but since this is already a powder formula of a foundation, so we're gonna see how this would combines with my natural oil and how it controls my oil come through during the day. So I'll give you guys a final update later on and see how it reacts with my natural oil. But one more thing before I leave, if you guys do have more of a drier skin, you do really have to prep your skin very nicely, because even though I have oily skin, I do have a drier skin on my chin area because of a lot of like acne and the product that I put it on top. So before applying the powder foundation, you guys might have to prep your skin very nicely on your certain dry area before you apply this foundation. And also, if you guys are interested on what are the jewelry that I'm wearing today, my earrings and my necklace and also my bracelet, this is a brand that I work with my partner. You guys can check out all the gold filled jewelries, and these are the jewelry that I wear every single day in my workout and in the shower. I never take them off. So if you guys are interested with the jewelry, I will leave the link down below in the description bar. You guys can check it out, and I will check back with you guys later. Alright guys, I'm back for the final check-in, and last time when we checked in, it was around 4 p.m. and now it's already 12. So I have been wearing this powder foundation for 8 hours now, and I did not do any touch up anything, and I was just lounging around the house, cook dinner, wash dishes, and this is what the foundation looks like on the skin. So usually I don't do powder foundation if I'm going out like going out and about for a few hours, but usually I would just use powder foundation as a touch up. So this is typically what it looks like if I'm using a powder foundation throughout the day without touching up. This is how oily I get during this, even though we're in this winter time. So that's very normal with my oily skin to get oily like that, and you guys definitely can see the shine going on. But I really like the coverage that it still stay put, and there's no foundation fade away. So that's just a quick reference, and I feel like even though I still get pretty oily, but I do like how it stays put on the foundation. Sometimes when your face get oily, when you scratch your face, it kind of have those scratch marks. So with this foundation, it doesn't have that, and it still stay put very nicely. So now I'm gonna test out, is it transfer resistant, since I have my oil combined with this foundation. So I'm gonna use a paper towel and slightly just dab the excess oil on the face. So you guys can see the shine immediately just disappeared after blotting with a kitchen towel, but you guys can see there is definitely some foundation stick onto this paper towel, but it's not as much as what I used to when I'm using a liquid foundation. So this is something that is not 100% transfer resistant, since I do have my natural oil come through, but it still take away my shine. But at the same time, the coverage, I feel like it's still on, still looks very nice. There's no cakeiness, and there's no any scratch mark, and there's no other spot of the foundation it was take off from using a kitchen towel to dab on my face. So that's a very good point from having this foundation, where throughout the day you can easily just use a tissue paper to take out the excess oil without having your coverage take off. And throughout the day, I do have to say it looks very natural. I don't feel like I have like a layer of foundation on top, and it doesn't feel like this foundation gives me that cakey look. So now let's move on to testing out water resistant. I don't know, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but let's try. So I'm gonna pour water over my face and see how it goes. But normally I don't wear foundation if I know I'm like doing any water sport, or maybe if you are running in the rain, that might be something for you. So now let's test out on this side of my face, since I don't have a blemishes sticker on. Okay, now let's see. I have water in my hand, and let's see how it water resistant. So here I'm basically just pouring water over my face. Wow. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if I'm doing something right, but it looks like the foundation is still stay put. Let's see if I tap it dry. I would say the foundation is still on, and you guys can see there's not much on the foundation on this kitchen towel. I feel like this mark right here is from my blush and bronzer, because my blush and bronzer is not water resistant, but I feel like the foundation is still looking good. Let me try it out on this side of my face. Hopefully you guys can see that close in action, and you guys can see when water hits on my face, it feels like it just leap off easily. It didn't stay onto my face. So I do feel like it does the job in the claims of having it water resistant. But I personally, again, I don't really wear foundation if I'm going on a boat trip or a swimming lesson or whatever that involves in water. But if you're just going out and suddenly it was raining outside, then I think this would be the foundation that it would prove the water resistance. Also, this is my first time trying out in front of a camera on water resistant, and I feel like this works amazing. So I'm pretty surprised of this powder foundation, that it can does the job of water resistant, and it still give you the very natural and a very light to medium coverage. So today that's all my review on this Loreal Infallible 24 hours to wear foundation, powder foundation. So if you guys like this video, please give me a big thumbs up here to support your girl. My first time doing this water resistant foundation review. And also don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and see more other foundation review coming up on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.
Fall into my covers where they sink one by one. Yeah, I watch them disappear to nothing, disposable.